Hey guys, EDC Gear here once again, and today we're going to talk about the Supertool 200. This is part 2 in the Supertool family series. The Supertool 200 was released in 2001 and it replaced the original Supertool. This tool was only manufactured from 2001 to 2005, so not a real long time for production. Besides the core, I think this is the second shortest production. It actually goes, the longest production so far is the Supertool 300. Then you got the original Supertool. It was from 94 to 2001. That's 7-year production. Then you got this one, which was a 5-year production from 2001 to 2005. And then 2005 to 2009 is when the core was produced. So it had the shortest amount of time. But we'll get back to that later when I go over the core in the part 3. The Supertool 200. Well, people, I guess, may have got tired of getting all the tools out and them getting stuck and having to prise open that to get the tools back. So Leatherman decided to remedy that and put a lock system. This is the rocker type lock system. You know, you see that rock? You pull the tool out. Still had tool clumping with this version as well as the Supertool. Okay, what you done is you pulled that lock back with your thumb, unlock this little tab, and you unlock the tool. You let it go, put the tool in, and it comes back over. Pretty interesting system. And in my first video, I did mention that the PST was just the little brother. This was a sized up, the Supertool was a sized up version of the PST. Well, this one is just a sized up version of the Leatherman Pulse, or vice versa, I guess you could say. The Pulse is a sized down version. I mean, they're very reminiscent of each other. Both have the rocker locks. Excuse me. And this one, actually, the difference between this one, it did bump out just a little more than the PST, but they had rolled edges, which made them a little more comfortable. And then that was the same feature in the Supertool 200. They rolled the edges over, still bumped it out on both sides to allow for the long tools, which in turn increased the width of the Supertool 200 by probably 1/8 of an inch or so or more. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, I guess you can see that right there. Made it quite a bit, you know, heftier in hand, as you can see. I mean, I had no problems with this one, and I continued to use this one all the way until the Supertool 300 came out. But that was me. A lot of people preferred the rolled edges, and of course, lock system. It was okay. Not a bad lock system, but they improved on it in the core, and we'll talk about that later in the next video. But it did have a lock system, so there's that. Supertool 200 came out in stainless steel, which is mostly what you see. And I'm not sure if they came out with a cap crimper version of that or not. And then there's the Supertool 200 in black oxide. Mine doesn't have cap crimpers, and I think the cap crimper version is quite a bit more rare than this version. I still had a hard time tracking this one down, but I did track one down. It came with actually, I'll show you the difference. This was the Pulse sheath. It's bigger than the one for the PST, and almost as big as the sheath for the original Supertool. I do not have a leather sheath for the Supertool 200. I have the nylon sheaths. This one's one, it came out with this. Actually, I bought this one. I think it came with that in that box that's over there. Let's see if we can get that box without making a mess. This box I actually bought new at a store. And if you look at the date, it says 2008. That is 3 years after the Supertool was discontinued. Inside, all kinds of good information. Basically one of those little cards that I show you sometimes from the different boxes. This one was built into the packaging. I guess they had some extra Supertool 200s left over at the factory, and we're still trying to get rid of them. At least 3 years later, I think I bought this one in 2009, maybe even, and it was brand new in the box, and I bought it at a store that was selling Leathermans for Christmas. I believe it was either a Marshall's or a TJ Maxx, and they had these, they had PSTs, and had KF4s. So needless to say, I bought some of those. And it tells all the tools right here on the back. Supertool 200. Supertool 200 was, it made, oh, I almost forgot. The Supertool 200 did something to the serrated blade, which carries on to today. Okay, that's the serrated blade for the Supertool 200 sheet foot. Okay, in the original Supertool, it's this side. It had a clip point serrated blade. Thing is, on eBay, I have seen plenty of these where the ends snapped off. I don't know if it was a warranty issue or they just made it to where these was a little better at cutting certain things, that serrated blades are better for cutting. Anyway, that's an improvement. I like this blade, but less chance of breakage with a sheep foot. Plus, I like sheep's foot. Okay, let's get back out. I think those were the main differences, because let me get this blade back in before I cut myself on TV. Okay, right here. The main differences between these plier heads are very similar, but you of course can see one says Leatherman USA, the other says Leatherman Tool. And then of course I've already mentioned the rolled edges and the lock system. And then the serrated blades are different. Overall, basically, very similar tool. That little notch here for the saw blade, I guess, that they did not put because they bumped the handles out a little extra so you could get your finger in there better for that saw blade. But very similar tool. In hand, you might be able to tell a little difference since it's a little more comfortable, unless you, of course, are trying to use a tool and the rocker locks dig into your palm. That wouldn't be as much of an issue with that. You pull a tool out, you close it in the Supertool, and you got the outside, and it's pretty comfortable. This also came with a ruler. Guess I should have shown that in the previous video of the Supertool, but you know, it's an added feature that doesn't add any weight, so why not add it? So this is the Supertool 200. Okay guys, it's been great. Remember, in my next video, the Leatherman core, and then off to the Supertool 300 before finishing out with the rebar. Like, subscribe, comment, you know, hit the bell icon if you don't care. One more shot of the pulse. I really like the way the writing is on the pulse. Shout out to multitool.org, Leatherman Collectors Club. Remember my Instagram, if you would check that out. It's EDC Gear. Follow me on that if you don't care. And post new pictures daily on that. And of course, the EDC Cooperative and the EDC Royalty Facebook pages. Those are a great bunch of guys on both of those pages. Multitool.org has a Facebook page, and also on Poncho65 on multitool.org forum. So if you ever check that out, you can look me up and I'll help you out any way I can. I'm also a moderator there. I guess that's it, guys, for part 2 of the Supertool family. Watch out for part 3, Leatherman core. That'll be next. All right, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.